Somaliland will this year celebrate 29 years since it declared independence from the former Somali Republic. The country has reached great milestones in almost every sector, whether it's academia, agriculture, democratic elections, and even sports. However, there is one big dilemma. The country has abandoned its founding history during the second liberation. The location where Somaliland declared its independence is in a sorry state. I recently visited Burco and filed the following story. Somaliland's capital, Hargeisa, is a modern city, home to everything you will find in the west as well as the east of our universe. From five-star hotels, amazing road networks, lovely people, traditional way of life, among other combinations of modern ways of life. It has been the face of Somaliland since it declared its independence from the former Somali Republic, which was formed after the unity of British Somaliland and Italian Somaliland in 1960. But the true history of modern-day Somaliland lies 290 kilometers from the capital, in Burco. Here is where Somaliland declared its independence from the Unity Pact of the former Somali Republic in 1991. All that remains at the venue where the country regained its independence the second time, however, is ruined houses, human feces, bushes, and hallmarks of failure. Could this be the reason why Somaliland, even after 2 decades, it has not been recognized by any country around the world? How did we end up here?
This was the place where the declaration took place in 1991. It's a great place, historic place. All people know. Why is it ruined? Why it didn't be and built? And why didn't it be made, a heritage place for the Somaliland people to come and see where they came from? It's a question. It's a birsa always, but I think what the Somaliland leaders and politicians focus was the essential life of the people, because they didn't have enough community, enough economy facilities, and they were struggling with building the basic lives of the people, whether they are nomadic or whether they are cities. I think not only me. Every Somalilander in this country, whether they are from the diaspora or whether they are from the local, they feel sad in many ways. They feel sad in the first place that people in the world let them down. That's the first disappointment that they get. They also feel sad when they come to know that their economy is not sufficient for them to develop, to build their economy, in order to show their growth of economy. That was another thing, because everything was just locked down from all the outside borders, basically. So when we talk about the economy issues in Somaliland, people depend on their local trade and local businesses and all that. They don't get anything at all from any other way.
Many leaders from what then was northern Somalia, present-day Republic of Somaliland, were not satisfied with the leadership of dictator Siad Barre and believed the south was not equally sharing the resources with the north. A guerrilla war led by the Somali National Movement, comprising of key leaders from the north, ensued and led to the overthrow of the government of dictator Siad Barre in 1991. The declaration of Somaliland's independence was made here, at this building and under this acacia tree. Abdurrahman Turu's images have today been decorated within the central business district of Burco, led others in the declaration. He later became the country's first president. This historical monument, a heritage to be preserved, has been deserted, left without a sense of humiliation. Somalilanders just ignored it. Is this how we celebrate our milestone? Is this what Somaliland's founding fathers want to be remembered for? Is this how we thank all the martyrs who died during the guerrilla war? Is this what their orphan children will be proud of today?
It's a matter of advice to the government and those who are responsible to take this case seriously and to invest and to do for the people something that related to their own existence and their own life and their own identity. I would advise the government and anyone who's related or anyone who has that responsibility, whatever their share might be, to take the full responsibility of, taking what you call a positive step to, build that place, invest it, and make it as a base for the heritage of the people. So the people will be, not only today, but in the years and ages and centuries to come, people will come back when they need to know about their, history and their second independence. So the people, the government should focus that. Signatures of those who passed away, who done the declaration, would be, useful and sufficient to be shown. Even if it is applicable, photos and pictures and those who are involved. I think it will be found in the files of the archives actually. So I think it's a matter of responsibility, but I can only advise.
Within the capital Hargeisa, there are numerous monuments showing what the military junta of Siad Barre did to the people of Somaliland. The fighter jets they used to bombard innocent civilians and the armored vehicles they used to instill fear to the population. Yes, this will remind everyone about what the government of the day did. Post the war that ravaged the region in 1980s, this site is the most important historical legacy left for us by our founding fathers. They converged here in their hundreds, agreed to form a government, resolved their dispute, and went ahead to have numerous presidential elections over the years. Somaliland has reached a great milestone. It has shown the world what it is capable and carrying out functions of a modern state, yet no country in the world has recognized it.
When you seek recognition for a state, or to seek to be known as a country or as a government or as a state, where you get the recognition is from the United Nations, where all the nations are united and rules and regulations takes place, and rights takes place, obligations takes place. However, this time of the age, everything depends on interest. So the big countries who are holding the United Nations in their hand didn't see anything to do with their own interests when it comes to would you recognize Somaliland or not.
Could it be because we abandoned our heritage while seeking international recognition? Worldwide, countries preserve their heritage. Kenya, for example, has preserved the list of what you could imagine will be historical in half a century. Kenya's first president and founding father, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, was arrested and detained while agitating for Kenyans' right during the fight for independence. The house where he was detained in is now a heritage center and preserved by the National Museums of Kenya. It is the same all over the world, from South Africa's Nelson Mandela, whose statue was erected at the Union Buildings, to Egypt's Gamal Abdel Nasser House, which has recently been turned into a museum. Their legacy and history is preserved and documented. If there is intention from both the government and patriots of Somaliland, these ruined houses and the abandoned national patrimony can be turned to sites and monuments of national and international importance, where priceless collections of Somaliland's living cultural and natural heritage can be deposited.